Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Draw with Rob. With me, Rob Biddulph. Now then, I am a children's author and illustrator. Maybe you've seen some of my books. You've seen this one. This is my second most recent picture book. It's called I Follow the Fox. This is the paperback version, which is coming out very soon at the time of recording. Look, people like it. Thrilling, says The Guardian. A beautiful and emotive story, says The Telegraph. Gorgeous, says the Daily Mail. It's all about a fox. It's actually all about a boy and a toy fox. And he loses said toy fox, and with the help of a real fox, he finds it again. But it's a nice, fun, wintry story. Maybe you have seen my chapter books. Oh, I just dropped a book. Sorry about that. Maybe see my chapter books. The Peanut Jones series. This is the first in the series called Peanut Jones and the Illustrated City, about a little girl who finds a magic pencil. Whatever she draws with this pencil becomes real. So she draws a door. She walks through that door and she finds herself in a totally illustrated world. Look at that. And she thinks her missing dad might be somewhere in the illustrated world. But you can see that this book is very, very heavily illustrated and is full of lots of nice art references and lots of things to do with drawing and art. So if you like drawing, and I'm guessing you do like drawing because you are watching a Draw with Rob video, you should check out this book. There's 3 in the series and I'm really, really proud of it. But we are here today to do a little drawing together. Now, do you remember earlier I said that I Follow the Fox was my second most recent picture book? That's because at the time of recording, I have a brand new picture book about to come out in the next week or two, and that book is this one. It's called When I Grow Up, I'd Like to Be. And it's all about, it's sort of a book about the world of work and the world of jobs. So it starts off with this little boy and girl saying, when I grow up I would like to be this and that. And we sort of go through lots and lots of different careers. So if I start it off for you, here we go. When I grow up, I'd like to be a sailor on the open sea. Through tumbling waves and salty air, I'll chart my course without a care. When I grow up, I want to fly the fastest jet plane in the sky. I'll pitch and roll and climb and swoop, show the clouds my loop-the-loop. And it goes on like that through lots and lots of different jobs. And I'm super, super proud of it. Look at that spread. Lots of different jobs. And I think it's a really, really I sort of wrote it as a poem, really, and then kind of put pictures to it afterwards. But I thought to celebrate the publication, the imminent publication of this book, we would draw my favourite character from the whole book. So obviously I drew lots and lots of different kind of jobs in this book. I drew astronauts, I drew vets, I drew doctors, I drew architects, things like that, all sorts of things. But the one that I really liked drawing the best was rockstar. So today, I am going to show you how to draw a rockstar. Right, if you've never watched one of these videos before, I'll tell you how they work. First of all, what you're going to need is a piece of paper. You are going to need a pen or a pencil. Maybe something to colour with a bit later on. This one's going to be quite a colourful one, so you definitely, if you have got something to colour with, you should use it. If you haven't, just shade with your pencil. That's absolutely fine. And the way it works is like this. Lots of people say to me they don't think they're very good at drawing. I say, nonsense, everybody can draw. Some people just need a bit of help with the order that they do the drawing in, okay? Now that's where I come in, because we are going to break this drawing of a rock star. We're going to break it down into little tiny bite-sized pieces, okay? So that means I might draw a line here, or a circle there, or a shape there. And in between each of the things that I draw, I'm going to stop for a second, or you can pause the video and copy what I do. So I will draw something, pause me, then you draw. Then I draw, you draw. I draw, you draw, I draw, you draw, I draw, you draw, blah, 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 blah. And before you know it, we are going to end up with a lovely drawing of a rock star. So yeah, so we break it down into bite-sized pieces, really. We do one little bit at a time, and then that makes the whole thing seem a lot more easy, okay? And before you know it, you've put all those pieces together. So, shall we start? Oh, I should say before I start, if yours doesn't look exactly like mine, please don't worry. It's not meant to. You are going to naturally put a bit of yourself into your drawing, and no two drawings ever look the same, and that's the beauty of art. Right, let's start. Right in the middle of your page, okay, we're going to start with a very simple line. Just 1 centimetre or so long. Horizontal line, like that. Then what we are going to do, we are going to come up and around like so. Okay, so sort of a curvy line, and we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So we go up, we bend around to the right, and then we sort of head up the page like that. So it's like a sort of like a vase, like so. So a nice easy start. Then let's go back over to this right hand side. Let's keep going up, and then when you get towards the top of your page, I want you to turn left, go straight along the top of your page, and bend around and join up with the other side, like so. So now it looks kind of like an upside down, one of those vases that you put flowers in. Okay? And that is going to be our rock star's head. Right, let's give our rock star some ears next. So, right, whenever you're drawing with me, you might notice that I draw certain things in the same way all the time. And I think that's really useful. When I was young, I used to copy other people's work, like Garfield I used to copy a lot. And it's a really useful way of getting better at drawing copying, because you get to see how other artists sort of put their characters together. And I always draw ears in the same way. So this is how I draw ears. So first of all, what we're going to do, we're going to draw like a C shape coming off to the side of the head, like that. Sort of nearer the bottom than the top, and let's do exactly the same on the other side. So we're going to come out and we're going to go in like that. And then what I do is I draw the inside, because you know, like the inside of an ear, if you look in the mirror at your own ear, it's sort of all full of folds and creases and lines. It's all quite complicated in there. I simplify it like this. I just draw a swirl like that. That's how I draw the insides of ears. So I want you to go out, up, over and around, and that's how I always draw ears. You don't have to do yours like that, you can do yours any old way, but that's a good way to draw them, nice and simply. Okay, so we are going to draw, the rock star we're going to draw is, okay, I'm going to admit it, my one's going to look quite a lot like David Bowie, like a child version of David Bowie, okay? But you can do whatever you like, but we are going to draw a sort of hairstyle that would work just as well on a boy character or a girl character, so it's totally up to you which sex your rock star is. But mine, I think, is going to be a boy. As I said, it's going to be a little David Bowie. If you don't know who David Bowie is, ask your parents. They will know who David Bowie is, and listen to some David Bowie music because it's really brilliant. Right, so I'm going to start drawing the hairstyle now of this character. So what I'm going to do, from the top of the ear, I'm just going to come down in a little curve, slightly away from the main curve. Then I'm going to go back up. Then I'm going to turn around, come back down again like that. And then I'm going to go back up to just above the height of our ear. Then what we're going to do, we're just going to go straight across to do like a fringe. Straight across like that. I'm going to stop just before we get to the edge, and then I'm just going to go back down here, like so. Oh look, I've already got ink on my hand, like that, and I've already smudged. But this is the thing, if you make a mistake, what you consider to be a mistake with your drawing, don't stop, keep on drawing. Do you know what? Smudges like that make it look like a human being has created this work of art. And that's what art should be. It should look like people have created it. It shouldn't be perfect. So don't worry if you make a mistake. That said, I am going to try not to smudge it anymore. Right, now this Rockstar character has got a quite cool kind of mullet. Do you know what a mullet is? It's when it's short at the front and sort of long at the back. So we are going to draw the long hair at the back. So we're going to come down from where the ear joins the head. We're going to go straight down. So we're just about level with the bottom of the neck here. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to go round and up. And then I'm going to do 4 of those kind of sausage shapes next to each other. So we're going to go down, round, up, down, round, up. I can just about fit this one in here, like that. And that is going to be the back of the hair on that side. Let's do the same here. So we're going to come down from where the ear joins. We're going to go down, round, up. I'm going to try and fit 4 in here as well. 2, 3, and then the last one, just tuck it in there. 4. So there we go. Our very cool Rockstar haircut. Right. Okay, I made a little mistake there. I'm now going to change. I'm going to change from my big thick brush pen to my slightly thinner brush pen, because we're going to do some detail now. We're going to add noses and eyes and mouths and that sort of thing. So the way I've drawn the characters in this book I really like. So with me, I get a bit bored of drawing things in the same way. You might be the same as me, and so quite often I sort of slightly change the way I draw characters in my books. And for this one, I've decided to put all of the features of my characters very close together because it just makes them look super cute, I think. So we are going to start with the nose, which we're going to do obviously slightly left of centre in on our character's head. And so what we're going to draw, first of all we're going to draw like a little C shape, just like that, sort of level-ish with the bottom of the ears. And then we're just going to curve that up a little bit like that. So we've drawn like a cute little button nose sort of facing that way. Do you see what I mean? And then if we draw the eyes, we're going to draw one dot. We just do the eyes as dots for this character. So we're going to do one there, and then we're going to do one on the other side, like so. Again, keeping everything nice and close together so it's super cute. Okay, then what we're going to do you know what, this neck, I don't usually do this, but I'm going to take a red pencil like this, and I'm going to draw, because my character, it looks a bit like David Bowie, and David Bowie used to wear a lot of kind of a lip gloss in the 70s, so I'm going to do his mouth, his lips in a red pencil. So what we're going to do here, we're going to draw underneath the nose, we're just going to draw a straight line across, not too long, like so, and then I'm going to draw the bottom lip just coming down in a nice sort of smile like this. I'll make it slightly thicker, I think, just like that, and then by making it thicker I can sort of make it a little bit smilier, like so. There we go. So there we go, nice little smile. Then I'm going to go back to my black pen and I'm going to add just a line coming straight across the middle of that. So by doing that we create 2 rows of teeth, and because this is a little boy character, my one is, I'm going to add a gap in the tooth like that. Cute! Okay, let's add some eyebrows. Remember, I always tell you about this, don't I? Eyebrows add character to your drawing. They add sort of expression on your drawing. If I wanted my little rock star to be angry, I would do the eyebrows going down in the middle. If I wanted him or her, in your case it might be a her, to look worried, I'd do them going up in the middle like that. I want mine to be quite happy doing what he's doing, so I'm going to add them high above the eyes, right near the hair, right up here, just to make him look cheerful. There we go. Now we are going to add, I'm going to add some cool sort of face paint to my character, but I'm going to do that right at the end when I do the colouring. So we're going to leave the face as it is for now, okay? But I'm going to start drawing the body. Now this is, I'm going to say this is actually a trickier drawing than I first thought it was going to be, because when you look at the characters in my books, certainly when I grew up, they look quite kind of simple, but actually there's quite a lot going on. So especially this rock star character we're going to do playing an electric guitar, it's a little bit fiddly, so you're going to have to, if I was to show you what we're going to draw now, you'd think, oh, that looks too hard, I'm not going to be able to do it. But I'm going to prove to you that you can do it, because we are going to break this down into bite-sized pieces. So trust me, this is going to work. The first thing we're going to do, my character is wearing a little neckerchief. So that horizontal line, the very first thing we did, I want you to draw 2 lines coming down on each side of it, not very long, just like that, and then we're going to join them up at the bottom. And that's going to be the first part of our little neckerchief. Then what we do, going off to the right, we draw a little circle, which is going to be the knot of our neckerchief, and then we draw a curve coming out to the right from that circle, like so. And then we go straight back across and into it, and that's going to be like one of the loose ends of our knot. And the other one we're just going to do underneath. This one we're going to do slightly smaller, slightly thinner, like that. And there we go, we've created a very cool little neckerchief. Okay, the next thing that I want you guys to do is we are going to draw the right arm. So this is his right arm. It's going to be the one on the left of our drawing, but it's his right arm, and we are going to draw this one playing the guitar, so sort of strumming the strings of the guitar. So what we need to do, we need to come out to the right, just follow what I do and you'll be absolutely fine. We're going to come right out to the right, and we're going to curve around, and and we're just going to head down our page to about there, I'd say. Then let's turn around and go up diagonally like that. Then the next line, we're going to follow that curve back around, but we're only going to go up to about there. Okay, and that is our right arm. Now while we're here, should we draw the hand? Now the hand is slightly fiddly, but I'm going to show you how we do it. We're going to start with the thumb. So we're just going to draw a little thumb coming out like that, like a little sausage. And then we're going to do a C-shaped curve like that. Okay. And now we're going to draw the first finger like so. So it's sort of as if they're strumming the guitar. Their fingers are their thumb and first finger is coming together. Now let's add 2 more fingers. So we do a little curve like that, and another little curve like that. So you can see a little hand starting to take shape. Sorry. Then we're going to go back up to the sleeve, and we're going to do a line that comes all the way down past those to about there, and then curves back in. And can you see it now looks like sort of holding out their little finger, as if they're strumming a guitar. Do you see what I mean? That might have looked 2 minutes ago, that if I'd have showed you that, you might think that looks too complicated, but just by doing it in little bits, you can see it's much easier than it first looks. Okay, now a lot of drawing is about the order that we do the drawing in. So we needed to draw that arm first because it's going to be in front of the guitar that our rock star is holding. So now we need to draw that guitar. So what we're going to draw is a line, like a horizontal line, going straight through his arm. We're going to start just sort of below the neckerchief, and we're going to draw a horizontal line just going into there. And then that line is going to carry on through, and we're going to go to about there, so level with his ear. Okay? Then what we're going to do next, we're going to curve around, because this is going to be a very interesting shaped guitar. So we curve around like that, and then we head back towards the hand to about there, I would say. Then we're going to curve around to the left, okay, and then head down here. Then we're going to curve back like so, and then we are going to head up diagonally. Let's go up to, I've got to try and make this all work out like that. That's pretty good. Okay, so we've drawn a sort of, these guitars, they're called flying V guitars, because most guitars are sort of like a figure 8 shape, right? They sort of look like a bit like a number 8. This one looks more like an upside down V. You'll see what I mean at the end. There's lots of sort of rock stars, particularly in the 70s. A long time ago, ask your parents again, they played guitars that were this kind of shape. Okay, so that is going to be the body of our guitar. Now, before we do the next bit, this is a slightly tricky bit because, no, actually, we'll do first of all, we'll do one line from the guitar, because you know guitars have those arms. I play the guitar actually, so they have the arm that goes all the way up. You have the body of the guitar, then you have the arm that goes up, which is where the strings go, and that's where you sort of do all this business on the strings. So we need to draw that. It's called the fretboard, and our fretboard is going to be at an angle. So what we're going to do, we're just going to draw a straight line that goes up at an angle like this, like so. Okay, and then we can draw that one. In fact, we can draw most of the other side. So then if we turn around here and sort of square it off, and then we draw, I think we need to make it a little bit thicker, we can go up to now this is even quite tricky for me in terms of the spacing. So what I'm going to do, we'll finish there. So we've drawn that part of our fretboard, and then first of all we're going to draw the other shoulder coming down and disappearing behind the arm of the guitar, like that. And the reason I want to do that is because I sort of need to know where that hand, because the other hand is going to come up and go in front of the fretboard playing it here. I'm making it sound very complicated, but I needed to know where the shoulder was, so then I can draw the other side of the fretboard, but we're going to stop, let me see, about there. So just sort of level, I guess, with the end of the hair. Because then what we have to imagine is this arm is curving around and meeting up about here, and then we're going to draw the sleeve going like this, underneath, curving around. So can you see that arm's like bent around the thing like that? So it is a fiddly one. And now we're going to draw the other hand. So this is how I want you to draw the hand. We're going to do him playing an actual chord on the guitar here. So we're going to curve around and go up onto the fretboard of our guitar, and then we're going to do 2 little sausage fingers, okay, like so. The next finger is going to be bent because he's playing a specific chord. So what all that means is we do it about half the length, like that. And then the 4th finger is going to be going straight again, all the way across, like so. And then we're going to come back down to about here, and then we're going to draw a little thumb sticking out to the side, like that. And then if we join that back up with the sleeve, you can sort of see that that hand is now holding the guitar. Do you see what I mean? It's quite difficult to explain this one. I hope you managed to follow me. And then we're going to draw the rest of the arm of the guitar, like that. And then what we can do, we can join that bit of the guitar body up there. And now you're starting to see what I was trying to do, okay, the shape of the guitar. Right, next thing to do, we are going to draw, we're going to close that off at the top to make it a rectangle, and then we're going to add they call it the headstock of the guitar. So what we need to do is do 2 little curvy lines coming out to the side, like that. I'm going to take my thick pen for this bit, and then we're going to do like a curvy end bit of the guitar, like so. Mine is not perfect, it's not dead straight. And then they have these little tuning knobs. So what we do 3 little lines coming out on each side, 1, 2, 3, and on the end of each line we draw like a little rectangle, and they are the tuning bits of your guitar. So it's quite simple, but it immediately makes it look convincing and guitar-like. Okay, there we go. And then what we're going to do, next to each of those, we're just going to draw a circle. So we have 6 circles on our guitar headstock, like that. Okay, it gives us nice spaces to kind of colour in a bit later. Okay, this is looking good so far, guys. We're going to add a little bit more detail now to our guitar. We are going to draw the scratch plate, so that's the kind of a bit of the decoration of the guitar. What I need you to do, slightly extend that line on each side. Then we're going to come down, following the line of the guitar, down to about there. And we're going to go up, almost dead straight on your page. And then let's disappear behind that hand. And then this side will follow that line of the guitar like so. And then we'll just have a little pointy bit sticking out behind there, like that. And that's just going to help us a little bit later when it comes to colouring a guitar. We can add some details to the guitar now, a few little switches and dials and things. We'll add a few circles like that. Maybe a couple of smaller ones here, like so. And then why don't we add like a rectangle there, like that, and another one up there. A couple of rectangles, let's put some little dots around them as if they've been sort of screwed into place on our guitar. All this stuff, just this little detail, just makes your drawing look a bit more kind of convincing. Can you see that looks pretty guitar-like now, doesn't it? You can even do another little thing here. We'll do like a little sausage shape there with a couple of circles in the end. Don't really know what that is, but makes it look convincing, right? Okay, now we need to finish off our little rock star's legs, right? And actually we're going to make, see, remember I said mine's going to be a David Bowie little figure. We're going to add dungarees. David Bowie liked a pair of dungarees. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a line there, and we're going to add a line there. Then we're going to come down here. We're going to go across there and up there. And we're starting to see some dungarees take shape. Then carry that line down to about there, just a little bit. Then off we go to one side. And then we're going to draw simple leg shapes. So we're going to come down probably to about there, back in, Then we're going to go up into the middle for the leg shape, across there, down on this side, and across there, and back up. There we go. Cute little dungarees. We can add just a bit of the jumper there. And then we're going to add, I think I'm going to add just some little boots. So we're going to go down. We're going to go horizontally along. We're going to curve back around and in here and back up. There we go. One boot. We do exactly the same on the other side. Down, along, up, and in. And then we can add some big soles to the boots. Like that. Rock and roll platform boots. There we go. Cool, huh? We can add some design detail. I'll add a couple of little kind of like rainbowy shapes in there. And then maybe I'll add some little shoelace bits in here. Like so. 4. A little circle on the end of each one. And there we go. Boots. What do you think of that? So that is basically the template for our little rock star character. Now, this is the really fun bit, because we are going to do the colouring. Now, do you remember what I said? This rock star, my rock star, is based on this guy called David Bowie. He's a very, very famous rock star, and he used to have these amazing costumes, amazing hair colour. You know what rock stars are like. Some of them had green hair, blue hair, whatever you like. You can make yours have rainbow coloured hair. My David Bowie is going to have a lightning bolt painted on his face. Very cool. Yours could have whatever you want. A spider's web coming in, stripy face, polka dot face, whatever you want. The thing about rock stars is they want to look as striking and as memorable as possible. So honestly, you can do whatever you like. Make the guitar whatever colour you like, the outfit whatever colour you like, as colourful as possible, please. I'm going to be back in about 30 seconds with a fully coloured in rock and roll star. You ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, so there is my coloured in Rockstar. So you can see, well, first of all, I've left the face very pale. I think David Bowie used to put a lot of kind of white makeup on his face to make him look unbelievable. One of his nicknames was the Thin White Duke, and so he's very, very white. And then you can see I've basically used lots of reds and blues, so reds and some orange in the hair. So this is very true to what David Bowie actually used to do. The red lightning bolt with a bit of blue on it there, a nice blue guitar, a nice red jumpsuit, blue jumper, blue neckerchief, and then the only other colour I've used is on the wooden bit of the arm of the guitar. So I've kept it all nice and harmonious, but hopefully you can see there's so much potential for lots of fun here with the colouring in and the patterns and the face paint and all that sort of thing. A couple of other things, I've given a bit of shadow. You know, I always like shadow, so a bit of grey around the feet to make it look like our character is standing on a surface. Some pink rosy cheeks in there just to make him look extra cute, and a little bit of pink on the inside bits of the ears. That's another thing that I always tend to do. Now there's one more thing we need to do. We need to add some strings to our guitar. Now this is a slightly tricky part, so what I'm going to do, in fact I'm going to do it this way so I don't smudge because I'm left-handed. What you need to do is add 6 strings, and the way that it works is we're going to do the first one just coming down from this dot. I'm using my very, very thin pen. It's going to go all the way down the arm, and it's going to go straight across there and sort of disappear behind the hand. Then I'm going to do the other side, the furthest side one first. Again, following the shape of the arm, we're going to go straight down and behind in there. And then what we need to do, the best thing to do really, is to try and space them as evenly as you can before we do the ends. All the way down, keeping them roughly parallel. Let's do the next one as close as we can so we can fit in 6. I'm just using the very tip of my brush pen just to make it nice and thin. I've got to fit 2 more in somehow. So we do 1 in there, like so. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, or you can just do maybe 4 strings, but I like to try and keep it accurate. And that one I've got quite a bit of space for that. Have I done the right number? I think I've done 6. Here we go, and that will go all the way down there. And then what we do, we just carry on each line, so each line goes to one of the circles. Like so, like it would on a real guitar. And there we go. And that little extra detail just finishes off the picture pretty well, I think. What do you reckon? I'm quite proud of this one. The last thing we've got to do, and I always say, don't know, this is one of the most important parts of the drawings. We need to sign our drawing, so I'm just going to write my name. Let's do a full name signing today. Rob Biddulph. There we go. I'll just... There's some bits when they do the colour pencil. Can you see just the lines have just gone over the blue with the guitar like that. The blue of the guitar have just gone over the line. Sorry, I'm not really making sense. I'm thinking about what I'm doing and not thinking about talking. Sorry. Yeah, I've just gone over the pen lines with the pencil. So sometimes you just need to go back over the top just to make them nice and dark like that. So there we go. That is my finished Rockstar. And you know what? I really can't wait to see what you guys come up with. As I said, hopefully we'll have some male and female rock stars, rainbow coloured hair, all sorts of interesting patterns, maybe big stars where their eyes are, maybe you're also wearing some very cool shades. Maybe they're playing a guitar that's a different shape. You used to be able to get ones that were sort of flower shape and star shape, that sort of thing. But I'm hoping for lots of colour and lots of fun with these drawings. So how do I get to see them? Well, if you get somebody to take a picture of your drawing and then post it on social media using this hashtag #drawwithrob. That way I should get to see it. If you're watching on Facebook, you can just comment below this post with a photo of your drawing and I'll get to see that too. And I really want to see them, so do send them in. What else can I tell you? Well, why don't you subscribe to my newsletter? There we go. If you just go to this address here and sign up, get your grown-up to sign up for you with their email address. That way you'll get sent an email when a new video is coming out or a new book or one of my live stage shows, because I might be coming to a town near you, in which case we can meet in person. You can show me your drawings actually face to face and I can sign them and stuff for you. That would be fun, wouldn't it? So do sign up to that newsletter and do subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. That would be great, and tell all your friends to subscribe too, because then they can all draw along. You can all draw along together and compare your drawings when you go back to school on a Monday morning, can't you? That would be fun. But apart from that, I think we are done here. I should, do you know what I'm going to show you? So you remember I said that this new book, When I Grow Up, is all about different jobs and things. Well, there's one spread in here which I really love doing, and that was this one here. And I don't know if you can see, but I drew lots and lots of different jobs, including can you see our little rock star? So what do you think? Accurate? Have we done quite a good job? I think that is pretty good. But do check out that book, because I'm really, really proud of it. It's a really, really nice story about the fact that, you know what, it doesn't matter really what you do for a living or what you do for your job, as long as you're happy. That's the most important thing. And that, you know what, the journey is just as much an important part as the actual ending. So I really am proud of that book. So do check it out. In the meantime, keep on drawing, keep on reading, keep those pencils sharpened. Be kind to everybody you meet, and I will see you again very soon for another episode of Draw with Rob. Bye everyone. Hello everyone, it's Rob here, and I'm just popping up at the end of your video to tell you about this, the brand new Draw with Rob activity book. And this is a very, very tasty one, because it's called Fantastic Food, and it's absolutely jam-packed full of deliciously cute characters. So what will you find inside? Well, we have lots of puzzle pages like these ones that you can see here. We have pages where I've started drawings off and you guys have to finish those drawings. We have colouring pages, lots of colouring for you to do. We even have some very cool bookmarks that you can colour in and cut out and then use when you're reading. And of course, we have loads of draw-alongs. Just look at these ones. Super cute, super delicious. And I think you're going to have a lot of fun doing these. Now listen, I'm super proud of this book. I really can't wait for you guys to get your teeth into it. And don't forget to send me any pictures you do based on the characters you find in this book. Right, you've had enough of me now. I'm going to let you get on with your day. You can pick this book up from wherever books are sold. And I really, really hope you enjoy it. See you soon. Bye-bye.